Alright, welcome back. I thought I would take a few moments to talk about the top Linux stories for 2016, at least some of the stories that were interesting to me as a Windows user. Now you might be thinking, why am I talking Linux and recording this in Windows 10? Well, to be blunt, I don't like using wine in Linux. Now, for all of you beginners out there, you might be wondering, what does drinking wine have to do with using Windows 10? It's not that kind of wine. Although a glass of wine sounds really good right now for this cold I have. It's a different kind of wine. Just search Linux with wine. You will know what I mean. I enjoy dual booting, both Windows 10 and different versions of Linux. So that being said, let's talk briefly on some of the top Linux news stories that are of interest to me as a Windows user. Well, it appears that the city of Munich, Germany, is planning to switch back to Windows from open source software. Back in 2003-ish, they had switched from Windows to Linux, but I guess one of the problems they had was quality of software. So it looks like, although I don't think it's quite official, they are planning to switch back to Windows. Did you know that KDE desktop environment stands for Cool Desktop Environment? And last year KDE turned 20 years old. So congratulations to the team at KDE. Well, Fedora is the first major Linux distribution to incorporate the fairly new Wayland display server. This is still new. I haven't tested it. I really don't plan to. I'm sure there'll be some bugs. That's to be expected, but hopefully this will be the future of Linux, at least when it comes to something to replace the XLMN Zorg display driver. Alright, Chromebooks. Yeah, Chromebooks are still a hot seller. Of course, Chromebooks are based off a form of Linux. It appears that Chromebooks are selling better than Apple's Macs. So congratulations to the Google team. I'm still waiting for the true mass-marketed Linux desktop. Something that incorporates Chrome and Android, considering there are a gazillion Android phones out there. It makes sense, doesn't it? And Google certainly has the resources to build a mass-market Linux desktop. Why not? Well, on a personal note, last year marks about 10 years or so since I first started messing with different versions of Linux. And 10 years later, I still have not been able to find a Linux distribution that can completely 100% replace my Windows desktop. There's some that come close, but it's usually the issues with video drivers, bugs, quality of gaming, stuff like that. Any one of those by themselves wouldn't really affect me, but the whole combination of that, yeah, I'm just not ready to switch to Linux completely. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, and the beauty of Linux is, of course, you can try it without having to delete your Windows partition, or do what I do, dual boot. And that'll give you the best of both worlds. It is safe, so if you are new to this, it's not that difficult. And I've been doing this for quite a few years. Trust me, as a Windows user, Linux is safe to use. And then maybe in your situation, it may completely replace your Windows desktop. If it does, please let us know. I will give you a shout out. Okay, well, I think I will have that glass of wine before I go to bed. Thank you for watching and listening. Thank you for over 6 years of the Total OS Today technology channel. If you haven't already, consider subscribing and supporting this technology channel. As always, like I always like to say, enjoy your technology, and please don't text and drive. Ciao.